We are back here at the Nexon Arena for more highlights of game number 1. GenG looked good early game, lost one big fight. We thought it might be all over, but GenG just volleyballed the ball right back into their court after losing this exact Baron fight.
There were definitely some signs of life. The heart palpitations were there if you were a Jin fan, but Fly had some great engages this game on the Galio and one big misplay. So you have to say all the action went through him, all things considered. And when he needed to be clutch, he was able to control space. Watching Nova just get DPS down, no tankiness to speak of on the Pike, of course. And by the end, they could just keep Ruler so safe with the CC and Peel, Tom Kench, Galio, and friends provide that the marksman did his job. GenG took down game number 1.
It's kind of the way I felt about the comp early on. You know, if GenG could get ahead, and people were trying to get into the backline but couldn't, Ruler, Kive could just stun their way and auto-attack their way through that front line, go front to back, and it's kind of exactly what happened. Could not penetrate in here. Eventually, at the end of this fight, after the Devourer goes down, they try for it, but Fly has his own Zonias, and then Aatrox came in, it gets flashed, and he dies. Fly is able to kill Yasuo.
That was actually double stopwatch, by the way, which is interesting to see. He used it twice in that fight. Yeah, he bought a stopwatch and had Zonias.
Wait, you can do that?
Yeah, I think so.
What?
I just watched it a second
OP?
time, so yes. Interesting.
OP poggers? I don't know, that's like pretty crazy. I thought he maybe had Zonias once before, but then I was like, no, I'm seeing things, but I guess he must be correct. At the end of the day, the Galio was really good overall. The damage coming out of Ruler on the Ashe, just another stat to solidify the idea that Ruler is really good at 80 carries, and well, maybe other people should be playing more of them. Let's see who the MVP will be. It's going to be Ruler.
I personally would have been on the Fly hype train, but the last of the marksmen, the only man who is ADC only, is Ruler. Congratulations on the MVP. Will he stay true to his one love? And I'm not talking about core JJ. I'm talking about marksman. Will he be able to go the whole season only playing into champions like the Ashe? That part, we will find out.
I'd say yes. I think he has a pretty good track record on it so far, to the point where when you're practicing only this, you're not going to be playing much of anything else. I think he was the guy in solo queue that was playing a bit of Ryze, right? But then yes. Ryze kind of disappeared from the bottom lane, and so he just went back to his 80 carries.
And I think it's important to at least play the champions in solo queue, whether you're going to be playing them or not. Knowing how they play helps you play against them, as the Ambition fans are optimistic they will see their man in game number 2. I don't think they're going to, but I don't actually have confirmation one way or the other.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I would say that Haru should stay in the lineup.
I like that guy's, is that a Donkey Kong shirt? Oh, that's a good shirt. On the right there. Dreams of bananas.
Yeah.
Great. GenG Esports, they've been handing out their logo as well. Some cheerfuls around. Slightly less cheery in the Jin Air booth. No substitutions there. I don't spy with my little eye of cacao, so I guess they're staying the same as well. Will the picks and bans be the same? Let's find out.
Here we are in game 2. GenG, interesting stat that SpoTV actually provided. Their red side win rate was 42-point-something%, and their blue side was like 87%. So if you're Jin Air right now and you know that stat, you're not feeling too good.
I imagine that actually puts them at 50% because they were less than 10% away and they'd only played maximum, what, like 10 games on red side? Couldn't be much more given they haven't played that many 3-game series. So guessing they're at 50%-ish now. Some quick maths. Shout out to Quickshot. As shout out to Yasuo, even though they were able to overcome him, GenG say, hey wait, Grace was pretty good on that champion. Let's ban it away.
Yeah. Take away the Aatrox here as well. And I don't think we're ever going to see Talia ever again, as it gets banned every single game on the red side by both teams. Just never gets played ever again, Papa.
The LCK made it good in the bot lane. Now it can be with Smite as well in the jungle. It's just too many headaches about us. It's too flexible a pick.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, the Aatrox is pretty good too. Actually, just grabbed a loss there, thanks to So-On up on the top side.
Wonder what the final ban will be from Jinair. Get interesting now because we know that Fly is a resident Galio player, so they don't even have to first pick the Zoe if they don't want it. And the Tahm Kench, so Ezreal will make it through, Tahm Kench will not. GenG could first pick the Zoe. If Fly wants to diversify his champion pool, he would have been confident to take the Galio as well. But they're going with the Zoe, and Fly's going to get a chance to pick up an MVP.
Well, I mean, a lot of what we've seen into the Zoe is the Galio. It's not banned. Grace, though, has not played it so far, I don't believe. He's played a whole bunch of other stuff. Maybe this is his time to give it a shot onto himself. I mentioned before he's 0-1 on 9 different champions.
Struggling to find an identity is Grace. He's not really been able to come into what is a very strong mid lane pool and dominate. But you're asking if he can play Galio. Galio is really straightforward to play. I know you don't play him. I've often suggested that you should give it a go, but Galio is pretty straightforward. And guess what? He's got his best mate Camille for some Hextech Ultimatum and Heroes entrance. Theoretically, that means Jinair may be more decisive than we're used to.
They're going to force themselves to be decisive and aggressive through their picks. Maybe their coach has had enough. He's like, you can only pick aggressive things that go forward.
So now they're squishing a Sejuani and a Mundo. So those are champions that don't necessarily give too many Mundos about the big engage coming through from Jinair. First Mundo in a little while that we're seeing. And Haru's the one on the Sejuani. Remember, it's not Ambition this game, so Haru's performance away from lane dominance has been something to track. Lane dominance, what the Mundo does not get against Kennen. So it's probably going to be AD Kennen stolen away from our resident AD Kennen player, and So-On trying to pilot the champion, build a Blade the Ruined King, and make Cuvé's life hell.
That is the idea. We've seen it into the Mundo before. It's funny to see the Morgana fall all the way through the pick and bans. Now the bottom lane hasn't been touched at all. We'll see if it does get banned here on the second side, maybe by GenG to deny it from the side of Jinair.
No first round Ezreal means we will not be seeing the Ezreal on the side of GenG, as it's a free ban. Looking for bot lane GenG, so makes sense for Jinair to ban that one away. Ezreal Tahm Kench, such high win rates for the side of GenG. 5-1 Ezreal, now 7-1 on the Tahm Kench. Wait and see what bot lane we see as the Lovers bot lane and also Ezreal Tahm Kench, by far the most played of Ruler and Core JJ. Zooming in here for Jinair, both sides looking for bot lanes. We've got Teddy, we've got Ruler, both these guys are most known for marksman. And we're getting to the dregs of the champion pool. Valdez says there's not really many left over.
There's that Morgana. Want to deny that from Teddy, I suppose. There's still the Vladimir left available.
Would you consider Braum here and then counter-picking AD carry? Usually support counter-pick is what happens on red side, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. I would have liked to see Teddy's Draven against a pick like Ashe, but the Ashe is going to be hovered at least and will be locked in, so a take away from Ruler. Kog'Maw is usually his fallback pick. Kog'Maw's open. Maybe he's desperate to finally get a win on the board. He's actually 0-2 on the pick so far.
Oh, it looks like he may want to switch it up, though.
You see, Kennen, Galio, Camille, and Ashe. You need something other than a Kog'Maw, because that really is a bad time. So the liftoff will be very useful. I think Kog'Maw would have been disrespectful, honestly, as a pick. Core JJ usually has been on something a little bit more stronger in the laning phase than the Shen, so Braum will make a lot more sense. I feel like Core JJ's role is to look after Ruler. You know, that's very much his hetero life partner, so I guess that's what you have to do. You got to sit there, put up a big shield, and hope for the best.
Whatever you got to do to help out your partner. Question is, what will Nova pick up here? Will he just pick up the Shen that we saw flashed earlier? Looks like
man, look at the engage they have here. Literally ridiculous. This is everyone as an engager on the side of Jinair. This is an old Rocks Tigers special from 2016. I call this the Oprah comp because everyone can initiate. Big arrow, big Galio, so much engage. But this is Jinair. can they actually put it to good use? Because it would be not pressing their buttons to refuse to engage.
Yeah, I mean, I made a joke about the coach just getting angry and saying, okay, only engage champions, and then they actually did it. Only engage champions. Doubt that's because the coach actually pulled his belt out, but seems like they're trying to gain an identity at least in game number 2 in the draft and trying to bring it to GenG. But from what we've seen before, GenG has been pretty solid. This time the Ashe without the Tom Kent. We'll see how much that can do, as well, there's a decent amount of engage on the side of GenG as well, or at least poke. Might be relying a little bit much on the Sejuani to do that hard engage.
The query here is if Jin start winning, it's very easy for them to continue winning because you press Hextech Ultimatum on Zoe or Xayah, they're going to have a really bad time. There's so much follow-up to the guaranteed engage and the cage that comes through from the Ultimatum. Disengaging that is almost impossible. One of those dies, the damage falls away. So I think GenG's early game is going to be what we expect. Can Haru make it happen on Ambition's pick of the Sejuani? GenG get ahead. I think they can stay ahead, but same is true for Jin Air. Could be a very even game.
Yeah, it could go even, or maybe one side gets very far ahead early on due to a couple of plays, maybe a couple of ganks, maybe even a pylon on the bot side from the side of Jin Air. That would be refreshing to see. Grab a couple of ultimates down in the bottom lane, maybe even a TP from the side of the cannon. You can certainly make some gigantic plays happen if you can line it all up. But either way, guys, the game is ready to go. The countdown has started. Let's jump into the game and find out what's going to happen. GenG won again.
People in full voice, though, on a Friday night here in Gangnam Stadium. So lots of fun activities happening all around us. We're in a very happening part of Seoul, if you've never been to Korea. But you've heard the word Gangnam before because this music video and the song are so famous.
Yeah. Psy bringing that over. I remember the first day I watched that music video. It was 2012, actually.
I assume
back then,
before the international phenomenon hit. I assume you were ahead of the curve on that one.
We didn't really know that it was going to be that big, you know? We were like, wow, this is a really funny video, you know, and we wanted to show it to friends and stuff, but we didn't know that it was going to take over the world in the way that it did.
What was the delay? Because, you know, when I saw it for the first time, I had no context for how long it had been released in Korea. Do you get a feel for how long it was before the world really paid attention? Was it a big delay or just an instant overnight hit?
I don't remember exactly, but I think it was about 1 or 2 months. It wasn't instant, but it was definitely like all of a sudden one day we heard about the song. We're like, wow, this is a great song, you know, really funny music video, whatever. And then another day, a month later, we're like, oh, now it's really popular abroad, like it was on Ellen or whatever, you know, one of those shows. And yeah, it's kind of like that. It's pretty cool to see.
Umti went for an interesting path of red buff into looking for a top lane game. Doesn't find it. Go back to the scuttle. There was a ward that may have spotted him in which path he took. Zooming in on this game, Grace wants to push and kind of waiting for the CC chains to start. They're largely level 6 gated. I guess mid lane could be earlier. It's Electrocute Galio, by the way, which usually suggests, hey, I've got a Camille. And with Electrocute and also press the attack, surprising amount of burst as early as level 2 for Umti and Grace.
Umti gets 1, Umti gets 2. Haru says you can have them. Bit of a fight here in the mid lane. Redemption picked up by Fly, so he'll be happy to take some trades. And Umti, after getting both scuttles, now coming into the red buff. Oh, he gets it with the smite. That's huge on a Haru. Now he's looking for the all in here. This is going to be easy pickings. First blood. Umti shuts him down in a big way.
And that must feel so good for the man who has had so many frustrations in recent series. Even Fly's opportunistic little redemption heal was too late. prospers. We talked about his aggression, how he may be miscast on a team that traditionally plays very passively. If everyone's an engager and gets going, maybe there's a mid-game coming that JAG can smile about.
Finally, King T is, I'm sure, the call from a lot of people as we've been waiting a little bit. We talked about his inconsistencies, how he's either awesome or not very awesome. And, well, this is a great start for him. Now he's actually going to roll it into something rather than letting it fall by the wayside.
Definitely set up for success when you have a team comp like this. So, Cuz pop off on a very aggressive Camille performance yesterday. I was kind of awestruck by him diving in on a pretty farmed Galio and killing him with just a Shen ultimate to his aid. So Camille can certainly hit damage times you just never see, because most games it's Trinity Force at 40 minutes and really no damage. He got the smite, and then he realized actually Haru's in a whole load of trouble. Walks up, knows his damage calculation, and actually he wasn't even close on the redemption. That was an interesting slowdown.
Oh, God.
No Poro snacks for that, Sejuani.
Get the clip for that one. I want to see that later. Oh.
Is that your thing? That's your thing?
I don't know why that was just so funny for me. It's been an interesting night here, with all the different sounds we've had. Never thought I'd hear the what is the Sejuani boar actually called? There's definitely a name for
Bristle.
Her.
Bristle, I think.
Sounds right, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Bristle. It's just Bristle attack in English. We're watching bot side.
Seems like a good enough reason to think her name is Bristle. Yeah, I've never seen her die in slow motion, but I guess today was the day. And speaking of which, this might be Umti's day, as he's going to get onto Haru again.
He just wishes he had one more flash. That would have been big.
He's playing the wrong champion. Look across the rift for that one.
True. This is a really big start for Umti, and it's also against someone who isn't known for being able to disengage with his tail between his legs. It's Haru, another aggressive jungler, probably most known for a champion like Camille. So going against type a little bit is Haru this game. Wonder if Ambition will be subbed in, if JAG can stick the landing. Again, no guarantees. JAG have certainly had their struggles. They had a massive lead. Second game against Afreeca Freecs, and took 30 minutes, and they only just hobbled over the line. So no guarantees, but this comp really only goes in, and it goes in real reliably and really expediently. So theoretically, with a winning jungle matchup, should be a wealth of options for Umti to keep the pace high.
I was asking before for perhaps a dive somewhere. Maybe not in the bottom lane. It's not super hard to do, or super easy to do against Ruler, but maybe against a Mundo that's only level 6 could be the answer.
Very, very straightforward dive. Don't have Unsealed Spellbook like Smeb did in a similar matchup, so no Ignite. But still be able to squish him. You want to do it pre-level 8 because Mundo can pop ultimate, then pop the stasis, and just like champions like Swain, you do get the life gain during your 2.5 seconds of stasis. At level 1 ultimate, it's not actually that relevant because you take 25% of your life and it takes a long time to tick up to a positive overall amount of health. But you can see Umti, they know the timing as well, and they're either going to look for a blue buff, but maybe even more. I think it'd be greedy to try blue buff into top lane turret dive, but who knows?
Well, it would be nice to know if they had information about where Haru was. Doesn't look like there's any wards down on that side, but looks like they are going to be able to at least pick up the blue buff, go from blue into the red for Umti, have him hit level 6 relatively fast. That would make the combination from the Camille Galio that much stronger.
So the priority on that Sejuani, I'm struck by the fact that Rengar was open this game and not selected. Would have loved to see Rengar versus Umti's Camille. But sign of the times, Sejuani is basically 100% pick ban. At the end of 8-11, Beyond was the only one playing it as Umti chases in. All right,
he does have level 6, so Fly, there's not much anywhere for him to go, and that is the easiest kill I've ever seen. They get the stun onto Teddy in the bottom lane, though. That's Ruler popping off. He says, I'm going to carry my team on the 80 carry.
A lot of people coming as well, though. They need to get the hell out of here. Here comes the roam downs. It's early enough so far. Does Grace have flash? He does. he will not go for it.
A big rotation from them, trying to roll one kill into another in the bottom side to make up for Teddy going down, but was not the case. So Ruler does get away with at least a follow-up kill in the bottom lane.
We're not going to show the mid lane kill. That one's censored. We're going to focus on the bot lane and the timings here. So at the same time as the squish happens, you saw JJ going for the initiate. Feathers and the passive procs come in. Excellent damage calculation from Ruler. They do hit both sides of the Feather Storm. Very nicely executed. The big takeaway from mid, when we won't see the replay, is that the gank happened at 7:50, 9 seconds before actually that stopwatch came online. No counterplay. Fly has cleanse, but he knows he's done. Nice little kill there, and so far, when Umti is gone, it's hit gold. This time Haru.
Well, Teddy doesn't have any way to get out of this one, especially with the slow. They can easily feed over the kill in the bottom lane this time. Teddy not able to pull off a con.
And now it's 2-0 versus 2-0. Two players we actually saw embracing before the series started. There was some spirited, nice words between Umti and Ruler before the game started. Now both of them are fed. They find themselves on other sides, and Ruler, he's got the Tabby for lane trades, and he's got the BF sword as well. When Ruler gets fed, GenG usually wins.
I'm quite confident in that, at least, if he can be able to use this extra gold to fight up to perhaps even a QSS to deal with all of that engage that they have, so he can do consistent damage. That's really the name of the game here for Ruler.
And that's a pretty good purchase. A lot of people don't talk about it, but when you're snowballing, when you're way ahead, the best way to stay ahead is to go for a QSS. A snowball QSS, when you've already hit your damage timings, you have BF Sword and Ninja Tabi versus just the lifesteal coming through from the Bilgewater. Definitely would heartily recommend a QSS quite early, but might just be one item finished into that QSS.
MT's still looking for the follow-up here. Fly is just going to face check. He's going to get stunned down, and look at the damage already coming out of MT. Going to dodge the Paddle Star, but even the Zoe's beginning to build up some extra damage there.
Nice little sidestep from Umti. You see the difference in players like Umti. If you ever spectate this guy in solo queue, he is so aggressive. He's a very aggressive player. Very strong solo queue player, a bit of a ladder monster. But you see in pro play the difference between those little mechanics when he's got his flare around him and when he doesn't. He's feeling confident, walking up to Cuvée. Cuvée half health, and that ultimate not so useful this early.
MT just continuing with the aggression, is going to land the stun into it. Where's the Galio? Not close enough, but he might have it, but he misses it. Oh no!
He might actually die also.
Cleaver to the face, and well, if the electric rat wasn't in Cuvé's face, maybe he would have followed up for the kill. Ooh, that's not a good look, especially when you're fed. You're supposed to be the one carrying your team.
I'm guessing the mistake happened because he smart casted it back when he got the call that Galio wouldn't be there with the ultimate. It ends up looking very silly. Didn't have the Galio in range, so wasn't going to be able to completely stomp, and doesn't even end up getting a stopwatch out of it. But be crucial there. Don't get the further harassment onto the Mundo. They do take the turret and grow the gold lead, but it's a slender 1,400 gold lead to GenG Greenwings.
It's a rough one, you know. MT looking for it. The kill, level 7 Camille up against the level 9 Mundo. At least Mundo had been lower than half health, so it was looking like a possibility, but it's got to affect his mentality just a bit. Even Haru, after his horrendous early game, being shut down by MT, is now up a level onto MT.
The 80 cannon, 8 CS ahead, hasn't been able to deny the Mundo like you'd want. This is a pick with press the attack that is just kill Mundo at every opportunity. You go Rage Blade second for Phantom hit and the double on hit of the Blade the Ruin King for making Mundo's life no fun and taking turrets. He has the turret. His teleport is almost up, so is Cuvée. So we could see a lot of people bot lane very soon.
You see how confidently Haru's pushing in there, even putting down a forward control ward into the Tri-Brush, saying, hey guys, I'm here. I know I'm here. Clearing your own control ward. Just trying to pressure them back, but MT also hanging around, helping out with that. At least this time around, it looks like Zoe should be able to pick up the blue buff. So it's a nice, good start, as it seems like things are slowly tipping in GenG's favor.
And I think the time game is pretty important here. Cuvée needs some time to equalize and get some giant spelled items so he can start to shrug away the damage from so on. Seeing Haru spend all of his time jungling bot side, as so far Zoe has been doing fine. He has double control ward, control the river, and Ruler can just push up and clear. Nicely done on the side of GenG. I'm just trying to answer with a Rift Herald, but that's such a predictable play of how he's going to gallop along and try to contest it.
Well, they're continuing on it for now, but they're going to be seeing Scrying Plant and Jin MT and so on. Just going to back off of that play. Kive sitting not such a bad spot here. He did give up the first blood turret to the cannon, but at least he's only 12 CS behind on the cannon, so he will be able to get onto those tanky items a little bit faster here.
So what the build will be, you could just stack armor and kind of just be a little bit frustrated by the burst damage from the Galio, but not going to be life-ending as the game goes on, you'd imagine, for the Mundo. Stormrazor is the rush for Ruler. Been the most reliable rush. The only time we've seen a digression was yesterday, actually, as when Prey was funneled on the Xayah Rakan, he went for Essence Reaver rush on 8-12. So it can be useful for playmaking. Speaking of playmaking,
they want Ruler here. They're going to flash on in, dodging it with his own Featherstorm, and now he's going 1v2 essentially. Grace getting close, but Ruler getting in there, outplaying Empty at every turn.
Ruler sees him and says, send more bad guys. Doesn't matter if you got the Shen coming, I'll be fine. 2 huge cooldowns used. No kill is picked up. Big turnaround by Ruler. Sort of moment that Jin will lament and GenG will say, let's push forward and actually start the herd.
Ooh. Fly a little bit wide there on the Trouble Bubble. It still lands, though. They might have that Braum stun come in, but they decide, let's not get too solo queue with this. They just look to poke the Galio out as after now the kill fails on a Ruler. It looks like everybody's convening in the mid lane to try to take out this mid turret.
Of course, they know the ults are down, so this is so much easier about it. Only way you can make these push-ups if you know, okay, ultimatum's down, Hero's entrance is down. Basically, all the playmaking is down short of So1's ultimate. Cannon wasn't going to be there. Let's watch the replay and see the lift-off timing to be able to fizzle. He knows now, okay, I know what's up. Opens with the flash. The reason why he opens with the flash is that if you ult at the final second, you actually pop through the Hextech ultimatum. It doesn't actually register as that permanent terrain you can't get out of. Nicely done by Ruler. Most people probably would have led with their ultimate there. That would have been the wrong choice.
It's a guy like Ruler that has an immense amount of practice. We were talking about this guy before spring, saying that he was just on solo queue all the time, wrecking face with Core JJ. In the bottom lane playing the Cogwall at the time in that meta. But, I mean, this guy knows what he's doing against a variety of different champions. And you can see it when he does plays like that.
It's one of those weird scenarios where, you know, talking about these ADC players, the only person to only play ADCs in the LCK. We have the lowest rate of marksman in the LCK. You got to say, he's able to put all his games to good use. He's played so many games on the ADC that you would think that he'd be super confident, and we're seeing other players try these new meta picks and just not have the experience or the knowledge to pull them off like Ruler does on his bread and butter.
Yeah. It's definitely very easy to talk up Ruler in the current meta and the way things have gone in summer. When you watch him play in competitive games and also in solo queue, you can easily become a fan of this guy. You see it once again here tonight. And now GenG, they've taken 2 Drakes, they've taken the gold lead. All things that looked nearly impossible after Umti destroyed Haru in the jungle.
And it's something we talk about with these AoE wombo comps, the strong engage comps, is when the ults are available, you have to play so respectful. There's these long passages where at any point, one ult leads to another, leads to my death. The moment the ults are used, and they're long cooldown ultimates, like the Hero's Entrance, the Hextech Ultimatum as level 11 takes a long time to roll through for a jungler, suddenly there's almost no threat. Suddenly you can siege, and that's kind of the duality here, is the moment you outplay a wombo comp or a global comp, you just roll up to a turret as Xayah and Zoe, and you know there's little to no threat on you. So that's the kind of fun thing, is the threat is there when the ults aren't used, but when they are used, that's where the enemy team gets the counter.
Yeah, it's very true, and champion like Camille can definitely rely on some of those you know, the Galio and Camille together in tandem is part of what makes her very strong in this composition. So even when you do have a 2-0 on the Camille, she doesn't have her X-Tech ultimatum. She doesn't have any follow-up. She can't exactly dive into the back line. What is a fed Camille doing for you compared to a super fed Ruler on the Xayah?
And the build is also skipping the Tiamat. A lot of the Camille players early in the season went Tiamat so they could power clear. If you go Warrior, you really are ganking. You know, really are focused on the ganks, so you don't even have the fallback patterns that you did before. GenG is going to brute force down this turret, continue to grow a lead. Stormrazor Xayah, the most fearsome champion on the Rift right now, given that the item is all about the early game. You know, a lot of people on Reddit have been talking about this item as, you know, being trash, not being very good. I'm actually a big fan of Stormrazor on the champions who can use it, someone like a Xayah, for example, because the reason you can't run a crit marksman is she needs 3 items. If you build a 1 item that is godly at 1 item after all the hot fixes and the gold efficiency it brings, and it lets you get to a 3rd item, you might sit there and say, there's a little bit of negative synergy here between the passives. However, you actually got to the items because of it.
Yeah. Well, we are going to have a 2-on-1 onto Cube here. It is Mundo. Speaking of the which, it is actually a 3-on-1 as Shen is in the game. Even lays down the Ignite in the bottom side. And no huge commitment either. You'll notice only the Slicing Maelstrom from the side of Sohan, as well as the Stand United, will be able to take out that Mundo.
Bit of a weird scenario for GenG because they weren't really doing anything on the Rift. So they're just like, well, I guess you're dead. There's nothing to really say about that, and should be at least going to be Sohan pushing up. Haru's here to try to dissuade the turret going down, and I guess so far he'll be successful. So crucially, it's just a kill. It's not a kill on an objective for the side of Jin Air.
Yeah. Meanwhile, going to buy some time for Mundo to get back up. And the Stand United is a bit of a longer cooldown, so that's definitely the most expensive thing that they used in the trade. Even all the while you mentioned the objectives, but also this lane up on the top side has been pushed. They gain a little bit of room around the top side river. Whereas after that kill, both Sohan and did go back home, so they didn't get a lot of match pressure.
GenG, a very, very surprising stat. At the start of the series, they have the shortest average game time in Korea right now, and it's actually a very short game time globally. 29 minutes is really short for this current season. Given that reality, for a team that, with Crown and Ambition largely starting, have often been the longest average game time. It was always a fight between Samsung Galaxy and Jin Air for longest game times. This was a series primed to be a very, very long one. With finding the lineup, with a little bit of an adjustment in the meta, GenG have been a bit better at closing out games, and Haru usually also does herald a bit of game time short. He usually goes big or goes home.
Yeah. Well, was looking for a gank. Is apparently still looking for a gank, but he's got the entirety of GenG's team inside his red side jungle. Maybe looking for some kind of flank onto the Zoe.
He has a lot of items. He's got all the kills for Jin Air, so he's very close to Trinity Force at 22 minutes. Again, we often seen Warrior Trinity Force at 35+ minutes. And Fly is going to find a rude awakening.
Oh boy, this is like the longest time they've ever taken to try to go in for a gank, but it might just work. He does have the stopwatch, but the stun timing is going to be on top of it into the Justice Punch. But here's Cube. They do force the flash away from Grace, who looked very, very safe. The one who doesn't look all so safe is actually who's on the run now.
Grace flashes really, really defensively. I think he had no reason to use. He did this on Swain the other day, and I definitely called him out for it. Not sure about that one, Grace, but hey, it's a 1 for 0, so we're going to be results-orientated. It still worked out. Umti's able to water camp and get away. Yakety sacks, etc., etc.
I mean, they kill the Zoe. They get a kill onto the Galio, right? Can get him onto that Morelos, which will definitely help against the Mundo. But now you won't have Flash Taunt, which we've seen do huge work from a lot of different Galios across the LCK. So if they're trying to take a fight sometime soon, they won't have it.
Well, killing Fly seems easier, though, as he has nothing up, including Cleanse. So if you got enough initiators, perhaps you take the trades and just kill the Zoe again. Putting her into the gray screen would be Ruler only when it came to damage. However, Ruler has just the most damage at the moment, so Yeah, be careful, Jin, because if Ruler lives through your AoE Wombo, or if the AoE Wombo fails and GenG can make a fight all about Ruler, it's going to be an issue.
They've been pretty good about making a lot of fights all about Ruler.
That's okay. We're seeing very different itemization to usual on Galio. I'm actually not sure if I've ever seen Merlinomicon on a Galio. There's some flat magic pen there, but usually it's Luden's or Zonia's second, so very surprising. I guess no one else wanted to itemize, or maybe they just wanted to double down on killing Mundo first, but Executioner's calling, and now the Merlinomicon coming through from Jin.
It's interesting itemization. Gives him a little bit more upfront damage, I suppose. Not 100% sure about the Merlinomicon versus the Ludens, but interesting choice nonetheless. I suppose it's similar to the Ludens, except you can get that anti-healing alongside of it just to help deal with the Mundo.
Less poke and CDR, but the Grievous Wounds. So I think you're spending a similar amount of gold for just really the Grievous Wounds. Was here forever. We have to zoom this up like 700 times. You can see those minions. Whoa! Minion Wave died almost instantly. He's still there, by the way, in like 700 times speed.
Three times he tried to back before realizing, actually, no, this is going to happen.
But this is what happens when you're a 3-0 Camille. Why not go for these plays? You don't need to be farming your jungle. If you look at the mini-map, there's no camps up on the top side anyway. It's probably the right move from who again, finally has had an early game where there's been no brain fades. He's made the right moves. He's outplayed the enemy jungler. They're feeling good. Trinity Force done. Still the stopwatch at 24 minutes.
Interesting spot in this game where the Cannon is just laughing at the Mundo in the side lane, continuously pushing on in against him, but the rest of GenG is laughing at the rest of Jin Air, just pushing in 4v4. They seem very confident to do so. Still no fight where they found an... Oh, they're looking for actually the Braum here. Just one guy who was caught out, and they should be able to get him easy peasy. Down he does go, essentially just for the trade and all those ultimates.
And that's the problem, is what's next? Because it's not worth using all of your threat and then not taking an objective. We're going to have a pause. Not sure what the issue is, but we will update you when we get word from our producer. Seems to be in the Jin Air booth, but we're only speculating.
Yeah, I don't know about expending everything onto the Braum. I feel like they saw the Zoe up with the Braum, and then the call was, okay, go, go, go. And they couldn't quite latch onto the Zoe, so they just took the Braum, and now they're like, well, what do we do now?
They definitely went. Look, the go, go, go was followed up upon, so the trust fall doesn't fail there, but they all seem to disengage. Of course, we did pause very momentarily afterwards, but they all seem to disengage after that engage. Waiting to hear an update. Ruler has his headset off for a moment there, and fanning himself down, the classic Ruler. There is This man is killing this particular series.
And he doesn't have a headset. Perhaps a headset issue from the side of Jin Air. I see our very concerned referees looking into the Jin Air booth, so it's definitely a Jin Air issue.
I've had a few Jin Air issues in my time.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting the update here. It is...
So Jin Air sounds like... Oh, it seems to be just a bit of a communication breakdown in the Jin Air booth. So maybe like software and audio. We're not 100% clear, but audio issue would be the summary of that.
Yeah. We don't get the pop-ups anymore here at Spo TV.
We had a toilet issue the last time, but it wasn't confirmed. If it's not written on chat, is it a toilet issue?
I mean, you and I went crazy for it, so we confirmed it, even though Spo TV didn't quite confirm it.
I feel like I've recently gone crazy for toilet issue and a bird dancing.
A bird dancing, yeah. 5-man taunts.
That's true. That wasn't a Spo TV, though.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Spo TV excitement. It's in my contract, 1 excitement per day.
Yeah.
I don't know what I do when KT doesn't play, but...
Well, you're not supposed to get excited when KT plays.
It's true.
I guess.
It is true. We're hearing that some of the audio programs that people potentially use, one of the big ones...
yeah, not to be named, though.
Not to be named which audio program. Please speculate in chat as to which audio program has crashed. It's probably the one you're thinking of, or maybe it's not. Who's to say?
Yeah.
I can confirm it's not Raid Call, though. Joel would be on Raid Call, so we'd be fine.
It's true. So they're going to change their headsets and change to the Spo TV 1.
Do you reckon Spo TV
program.
uses raid call?
I mean, it's definitely higher than a 0% chance.
Do you think anyone has said the words raid call out loud more than me in the past week?
Maybe you're like, did you ever consider that you might be the guy in the entire world? You're the one person that's saying raid call more than anyone else.
That's why I just said it out loud. It's very possible that I am, in fact, the last bastion of raid call. As we put it up there, it's an audio issue.
It is. Finally comes through. But I mean, like, doesn't that feel cool? Right? You are the one person in the world that is saying this one combination of words more than anyone else.
You know, at
Don't
the moment,
you feel honored?
At the moment when it comes to esports, I'm probably the person saying the most words weekly about esports.
Well,
2 best of 3s
you know?
daily, 6 days a week. It's hard to beat in English. And
in English?
Even Korean. Remember, we don't have the same broadcasters for Korean between Spo TV and OGN, so I'm probably setting some sort of record. Here's the replay of Core JJ. Let's say absorbing pressure, because he takes a whole lot of ultimates.
Yeah, I mean, they see him move forward, and there's the
count
call.
1, 2, 3. A lot of ultimates there, and they did kill him. He got Goomba stomped real hard. When are we going to get Super Mario Galio skin?
Really? Stomp on the Goomba?
Hey, Goomba stomps everybody.
But he only does it to allies. Does the ally disappear after? Does he turn into a Goomba?
I mean, if you jump on the head of your ally, you don't kill them in Mario.
True.
Internal consistency is there.
Wouldn't it look weird if the Galio hops in and then bounces off the head as he's like trying to stun them, trying
That's
to taunt
true.
everybody?
I guess when you jump on the head of an enemy, you do bounce up, so that's a little bit different. Galio just hits the ground. He's very much more rotund, I guess, in that particular way. We're waiting for the potential raid call issue to be solved.
You're saying that a lot. You're upping your chances of being the one guy, the #1 speaker of raid call.
I gotta say, if I got personal sponsors, I'd definitely be able to embed them with 700,000 hours of LCK every day.
That's something for all you guys out there that are watching. You know, you might want to.
I'd have to be sneaky about it. Or maybe I could be non-sneaky and thus above reproach by mentioning
There you go.
You mentioned, like, oh, yeah, wouldn't that be funny? Actually doing it also.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of selling out, you can follow GenG at GenG Law on Facebook, GenG Esports on YouTube, and Gen_G_Lol on Twitter.
Who do you reckon these guys support? They seem like SKT fans to me.
Yeah. Maybe G2.
Nice.
They have a G in there.
I feel like Spo TV is indulging them too much here.
I know, they're getting like the big time sellout shot right there.
Here's Umti. He's nodding his head saying, yes, I will camp a brush and kill someone soon. He has been a confirmed killer after being kind of a confirmed dyer a couple of games in a row.
He's talking to the refs while they're fixing his stuff. He's like, hey guys, you see my Camille out there on the rift? Like, aren't I so good at this game? They're like, actually, we're just trying to fix your audio issue. Like, we don't really care about your Camille. He's like, but I had a couple of really great ultimates, right? Core JJ just wants out of the booth right now.
He definitely seems over it quite a lot.
Although I feel like that's the way he looks most of the time.
That's true. There are a couple people that have that kind of resting nature about them where it seems like they'd rather be anywhere else. Waiting to get into this game. We're so excited to bring you guys some more Korean League of Legos, but we've been held back by audio issues. How criminal.
I'm looking at the stats, and GenG up 2 towers, but they're down gold. Someone must have been really far behind in CS. Maybe it's the Mundo.
It is the Mundo, who was pretty far behind. Usually the turret lead does lead to those further leads, as GenG, as I mentioned, was handing out those cheerfuls that do double as very useful fans. Hey, he's not using his hands for once. He's found a new fan.
Yeah, he's getting in there.
Yeah.
It looks like he's wearing 2 shirts. That might be part of the problem.
He is wearing 2 shirts. I'd also like to call out GenG and the fact that they're not selling their black uniform. They're only selling their white uniform.
We got some foreign fans here in the studio.
Hello, global fans.
He brought his beer.
I'm again going to call out GenG. Why are they only selling the white version of the uniform? I think the black one looks really cool. I wanted to buy it, but I could not.
I agree.
What's going on with that? If you guys want to buy the white version of the uniform, it is for sale.
It definitely seems like there are enough people in the audience that are supporting and working for GenG that you may want to approach them and ask them about it.
I mean, I've called them out on live television now, so I feel pretty good about what I did. Also, they never wear the white uniform.
Yeah. What's up about that, Pop?
I don't know.
It's kind of weird.
I think this one looks better personally, so I support their decision. I would just like to buy it.
Yeah. Honestly.
Is there anything right now in your life that you really want to buy, but for whatever reason, throwing money at the screen isn't working? Like things that are unavailable or collector's item, or what do you got your eyes on, Valdez? Got any eBay auctions you're watching?
I don't know. I'm not much of a big spender, you know.
Frugal?
Yeah. I don't really look for things like, oh, I really need to buy this, you know. Kind of just sit back, chill, play video games, cast video games.
I must admit,
watch video games.
I love the thrill of the purchase. Like, I definitely get that high, you know, of like, oh, all right, I've done it. I finally bought this. I definitely do also have the regret later, but
yeah.
I'm also not an impulse buyer. I kind of like spy something like an auction. I'm like, okay, I'll get there. Won't it be awesome when I own it? But still, the other side comes through where you feel a little bit of a remorse. So I kind of understand your position, but it's nice to want things, you know. It's nice to have your eye on something.
Yeah. I like to travel. Save that money, go somewhere new experiences, you know.
What's next on the agenda then? Where's the
I don't know.
Where's the place that you pull up photos of and wish you were going there soon?
I've been to Japan like too many times.
You were saying something about Jeju.
4 or 5. Yeah, I might go to Jeju next week.
I've never been. Jeju is the island off of Peninsula.
Yeah. Maybe like Southeast Asia. I've never really been down there. Hong Kong's really nice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hong Kong is really nice. There's actually a fan from Hong Kong here who was here earlier who had a chat with, who was watching the English stream.
Cool.
A lot of people, a lot of global fans recently passing through, I guess because it's the summer months and a lot of people are on holiday from school or university or work. We are getting people passing through. So shout out to everyone. Please, if you do make it down to the Gangnam Stadium or to the Sangam Stadium, OGN or SPO, or for LCK in general, please do come say hello. Speaking of global fans.
We got more of them. I'm glad they all have the English headset. They're listening to the Papa Valdez podcast, Papa's Mad Life.
Episode 4, I think, today.
Yeah, we're getting up there. We've had a lot of pauses recently.
Originally, I wanted it to be, you know, monthly because, unfortunately, we don't have a regular time slot. So it's supposed to be just during, you know, one pause a month. But recently...
No.
Whoa!
We make you work, Papa.
Wow,
we make you work for your pay here. Podcasts at least once a week.
Well, back into the game, we weren't actually counted down, so that was a bit of a surprise. But I'm always happy for surprise League of Legends. Speaking of surprise, Shen's going to take some surprise damage.
We're back into the game. I don't play a lot of Zoe, but I must imagine it feels really nice when you get the combination down, you know?
I, like you, only feel the wrath of Zoe rather than playing Zoe.
Yeah. Other things I don't play include Yasuo, Zed, Fizz. I'm not really an assassin player, I guess. I used to play a lot of Ahri back in the day.
And she was assassin most of the time.
Yeah. She's not great nowadays, so I don't really play her too much.
You and Shifter both retiring the Ahri for now.
Yeah. Good idea. High five through the internet.
I'm on a Rumble kick again. I named my dog after Rumble, so I'm a big fan of the Rumble.
You don't own a dog.
I had a dog in Australia.
Oh,
I named him after Rumble.
I thought you meant like now. I'm like, what?
I had to give up the dog, Valdez. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Okay, sorry about that.
What if I had a traumatic story?
I just thought you meant now, you know?
Haha, yes, the dog you don't have.
Feels bad, man.
Well, Rumble was a cute Welsh corgi, so shout out to Rumble. He's still alive, in case you're wondering. He's still surviving.
Okay. You made me feel really bad.
Just like Uzi, still alive,
no.
still surviving.
Yeah. Well, will Ruler survive? That is the question. You got a Shen on top of this too. Another dodge. Where's the Galio? Can't go in there. Even the Ash Arrow hits him, but he doesn't care. Insta QSS pulls the feathers back. Can't quite get onto though. Fly trying to do that auto attack damage, can't quite kill him, but Ruler survives again.
Ruler's timings, he keeps flash up through all of those abilities, Valdez, and remember, it's wombo or nothing as the game goes on, and or nothing when you keep dodging skills, it's becoming more and more likely. Big plays by Ruler. GenG, if they could find a way to get a Baron, wouldn't that be awesome, given how this mid-game has been defined by creating good things wherever he's gone.
He's trying his hardest. Trinity Force completed. He can certainly nearly just one combo down a guy like Ruler, but Ruler's been making it really, really hard for him.
Working towards an Infinity Edge, and then he will have plenty of damage as well. So, cautionary tale for the side of Jin Air. When we saw yesterday, Kennen versus Zoe, that was AP Kennen. Remember again, AD Kennen, very different playstyle. We mentioned that GenG Baron, they're on it.
All right, there is the blue trinket, and immediately the TP comes in, down below about half health, 6,000 for now, trying to zone with the Zoe bubble here. Trying to get in close, doesn't have his smite yet, actually, it's getting really, really close, but GenG going to respect. They don't exactly know the timing on that smite. Now they're looking for the Shen here, but the stopwatch comes in alongside the Galio, looking for another re-engage, popped up by the Braum, but no follow-up in the damage. Means that GenG pushes them back. And that's about it.
No ability for GenG to finish the Baron. They're not a team take a 50-50, and it's hard to be a 50-50 with how much engage there is on Jin Air. So you have to respect, you have to pull away. They get a bonus, they get the Hero's Entrance they probably didn't know they'd be able to pick up as...
Oh, all right. You can't really kill Ruler, but can you kill Fly here? It looks like the answer might be no. Actually looking to engage onto Haru now. Battlestar is going to go wide, and man, he does so much damage. Can't quite take out Haru though, and now Umti's going to be rooted here. Nobody's dying on the Rift. It's so close, all of these fights, but everybody makes it out alive.
Flashing health bars, you kind of have to look at the collateral damage of what summoners are down when no one dies. Fly with no flash is something that the Galio especially would like to return to. Most of the important summoners still there for the side of Jin Air, especially on Teddy. He's flash and heal up. We're going to watch a replay. Goes in on Fly. Fly has flash and cleanse available. He'll hold on to the cleanse, but the moment that they knew there was more people coming, had to use the flash. In the picture-in-picture, we are focusing on the Infernal Drake. Because a lot of AoE ults are done, and the full reset had to happen with the low health bar from If you chunk out the enemy jungler, why not go pick up an Infernal? Nice pick up an Infernal when there was already so much AD on Ruler.
It looks like Fly was going to get the kill onto if he just autoed him instead of Nova. Looks like he was just barely out of range, or he accidentally clicked on the Shen. They were standing right next to each other. Either way, gets away. That does mean that no objective comes in here. 5 Drakes to the side of GenG. They are sitting pretty. Zaya and Zoe still very much scary in this game.
And while we talked about So1's ability to impact side lanes, we're still not seeing the Kennen split push in the same way we were seeing yesterday. With no Rage Blade, I think actually going Phantom Dancer and Armor Penetration is probably not max damage to Amundo. I think the double on hit with how much health Amundo stacks does just insane damage from the Blade, that avoiding that and going for Phantom Dancer, a safe item, is perhaps not the zero-sum way to get the push going. So So1 so far has not really been able to grow his lead after having, you know, better part of a 50 to 60 CS lead the entire laning phase. Then AD Kennen with no Frozen Mallet, with no other team fight kind of abilities. Struggling to see the validity of this Kennen build, because if it's not winning the 1v1 super hard, it's certainly not going to crush the team fight either.
It's going to be rough, especially when the Kennen isn't super tanky. Ruler, oh boy, and Nova's going to get caught here, unfortunately, just in the jungle.
Too easy. Came from every direction, no way out for Nova. Didn't have his flash up either, a couple of seconds away. Back on that Baron.
Well, there's certainly a world in which if you can get onto the back line for Jin Air, maybe you still win a fight 4v5. Not sure if they're willing to take that chance, though, especially because Fly is just going to make Teddy nearly useless in that fight with one Battlestar. Umte's still on the side, is going to use his hook shot. There's the Sejuani ultimate. Core JJ might go down for this. He is going to stopwatch though, but he will get away. Even the arrow can't kill him. And that means that now Soan trying to get on top of Fly, but he's got his Zonius completed now. Galio coming in, kind of an awkward fight here, getting the big zoom out. Nova getting pretty low, but Umte blasting in, gets hit in the face by Fly from the right side. Make that a double, and maybe even a triple. Gonna give that one over to Ruler, but 3 kills to the side of GenG alongside the Baron.
GenG was so close there, but also so calculated when it came to the closeout. You saw the smite steal coming. Umte was a level ahead. However, his flash was on cooldown. He had to use hook shot because he was corralled by the Braum. Meant the smite could come down. Watch the replay. Notice that Umte is so close to having his flash up, but doesn't have it. That's cooling down, as you can see, coming back to being available. Never up while the Baron is actually in contest range. Comes up at the end. They turn onto him. It's looking pretty close because the fight is happening on 2 different sides. Teddy doing a lot of damage. However, Ruler, he's got everything up, including heal. He walks up, able to turn around. He stands to deliver, and even a Zoe to clean up.
There were so many low members on GenG. They all got baited in. Nova trying to get in there on the Shen even and get into the backline with the stun to help them to clean them all up, but a little bit of desperation towards the end after giving away that Baron. And so now GenG pushing ahead in this game, about 6,000 gold ahead. They have 2 minutes left of Baron, and Umte is dancing.
There's a choice you can make. I'm going to choose to look at the damage numbers and see that Ruler did plenty on the side of GenG. Not huge numbers in general, actually much more damage dealt by Jin Air, but it's all about where the damage is going rather than exactly how much there is altogether. Ruler has, you know, a lot of items. He's got 5 items complete, only 1 item slot open, and it's going to be 3 control wards for now. So basically item capped. He is certainly huge compared to Teddy, who is obviously no kills on the board and 60-odd CS behind. Teddy's spent a lot of time playing non-AD carries, and Ruler, that's all he plays.
Yeah, even while casting this game, kind of forgetting that the Ashe is in this one. The arrows have been kind of lackluster, not really helping too much, as it's really just been the Umte Grace show, the 1-2 punch. The rest of the team not really getting in position to do the damage. Soan and Teddy both guilty of that fact, I'd say. And, well, GenG now just pushing into the bottom lane.
Seeing a very deep teleport come through. I assume this is Soan. Remember, it's AD Ken. So he's already going to abandon that one.
He's like, oh, sorry about that.
Probably hoping we didn't catch that on camera. We did, Soan. We did.
We saw all of it. Well, that's going to be double super minions down every lane now. As the 3rd inhibitor comes in, they still have 30 seconds of Baron. Does GenG want to end the game?
They're start to walk up here, and there needs to be desperation. They have engaged. You got to press the buttons now, Jin Air.
Gotta go now. Where's it gonna come from? The arrow comes in, but Ruler easy QSS in the back line. Headset ultimatum with the follow-up, and Ruler will get knocked up. Galio is gonna get that on the back line, and they will finally kill Ruler. But look at Zoe in the back line doing all the damage, and Cube even on the Mundo. Meanwhile, the minions are gonna pick up the Nexus, and that'll be a second 2-0 tonight. This one over to GenG.
Very fun game where we had Umte and Ruler popping off, but comping around Ruler when he gets a lead is what GenG do. It's their bread and butter. For Umte, it was a rare game for 2018 summer where his early game moves were actually very calculated and very strong. However, from there, what we saw was the moment that those ultimates didn't get kills on Ruler, especially in the top lane where he was able to pop the ultimatum with his Featherstorm. That was the coolest part for me, understanding to flash first and then Featherstorm only when he saw the ultimatum come in. The cooldowns were down, the siege has begun, and there was no answer to sieges when all those ults are on cooldown. Better game and better series from Jin. I thought they were pretty good here, but GenG's better, and GenG go up 2-0.
Yeah, not too surprising based on what we felt coming into this series. GenG will move up to 6-1 in the standings, whereas Jin Air, unfortunately, will move to 0-8. So they will pick up that 10th place spot underneath BBQ.
And let's think about schedules. We already know who that 9th team is because the other team with no wins, BBQ. So Jin Air versus BBQ, I believe after the Rift Rivals break, will be the big match. That will be the one that decides who will go in 10th spot. who will go in 9th spot at the end of the first round robin. If we have to hype the match at the top, the ones at the bottom are also important. This was after Umti had already gotten successful ganks. Ruler started getting real feisty. He knows all the limits of the Xayah. This was not Xayah Rakan. This was just a Xayah power pick. He saw all the engage. He wanted his Kog'Maw that he can't win on, but he realized maybe I should be able to dodge skills, and dodge them. He did.
Xayah seemed to be the perfect choice coming into this one, and really it was just the Ruler show. I wouldn't be surprised if he earns himself a second MVP after this performance tonight.
I mean, it was so hype watching him with Umti on his tails, because it was actually anime protagonist versus anime villain.
Yeah.
If you're a GenG fan, you were watching him avoid so many different abilities, struggling for life, but getting over it at the end. So many different initiations on the side of Jin, and yet not enough to actually shut down Ruler. Adds another name to his list of teams he's taken down. KT is the weird one, where KT has beaten GenG and Griffin 2-0, despite all their other struggles. This one all about GenG, all about Ruler. Very, very good Baron here, where Core JJ knows his role. They would have timed the flash and no ability to be contested in this one. Cleanup was by the Zoe this time, not so much Ruler. Ruler always plays a pivotal part for the side of GenG. For KSV, he had a good start, then fell away in spring season. On the side of GenG, he's just had good game after good game.
In the background, Fly, even though he got ganked a little bit early on, I think he even went 0-2. Ended up doing really well towards the end, and this is the final fight where they finally got onto Ruler and killed him.
It's one of those dark animes where the protagonist dies, but actually the good guys still win.
Yeah.
Collateral damage, sadly Ruler just couldn't avoid 700,000 CC abilities. He goes down, but in service of his team winning. Not a KDA player, but a happy player. And sadly, the happy plane, the glad plane, once again, going to be on the sidelines.
Yeah. Poor plane. Always got a sad face on. Feels bad, man. But yeah, most damage in the game. Xayah against all of that engage. 5 champions that could engage, but Jin Air couldn't put the 5 of them together in order to make it actually happen in the end, and GenG win the game.
I like the change from Jin Air, but it is also a change from their natural tendencies, and that's where perhaps the execution is going to fall away a bit. This man was a master of execution. It's Ruler, very well-deserved MVP for this game on the Xayah. That man, the last of the ADCs, still has not played a single non-attack damage carry. Picks up the MVP again, moves up to 300 points.
Pretty of an obvious one here, double MVP for him tonight, so we'll be hearing from him, and I'll hand it over to Ji-Sun for the translation.
아이 축하해요 자갓.
감사합니다.
네. 진짜 오랜만에 인터뷰하는 건데.
Long time no see, Ruler.
진짜 오랜만인 것 같아요.
Yeah, it has been a while.
1세트, 2세트 사실 버릴 게 없었어요. 특히나
All the series was awesome today. Super plays on your side.
이걸 다 피하는
A great execution by Ruler. So how was today's match?
2세트 같은 경우에는
Talking about the game too.
자야를 하면 적팀이 저한테
Well,
없어가지고 좀
I knew that Jin Air had nothing to do on me if I played Xayah, so I was feeling really comfortable.
어땠어요?
1세트 같은
What about the game 1?
원래 좀 용쪽 한타에서 저희가 대패했잖아요.
Where we lost in the team fight near the Dragons. But except that, yeah, we played quite well.
그 전투 때문에 좀 아쉬웠었고.
네.
근데 사실 초반부터 좀 어려운 장면이 있었거든요. 일단 그 한타 싸움은
Talking about the team fight or before that.
느껴졌었는데.
네.
어땠어요? 그
So how was the game 1 overall?
일단 적팀 주요 스킬들을 좀 생각을 안 했던 거.
Well, I made my mistakes because we were kind of unaware of their significant CCs, and we were kind of like not really that concentrated during the games.
그냥 다 정신이 없었던 것 같아요.
Yeah, we're not feeling well, maybe.
말도 제대로 못했던 것 같아요.
Yeah, we actually didn't make a lot of calls during the team fights, yeah, so it was all our mistakes.
그때 승기가 넘어오게 된 게 이제 바로 앞에서 한타였어요.
But you got your game back near the team fight at the Baron. So what kind of calls did you guys share at that moment?
충분히 이길 수 있다고 그냥.
Well, we said we can win if they tried Baron, so let's just not feel small and let's go in for the fight.
그러면 그 장면 어떤 장면인지 보면서 좀 얘기할까요?
Then let's check out the clips.
괜찮아. 요거 어땠어요?
이때
So what was going on over there?
그 주요 스킬들이 좀 빠진 상태에서 반응을 친 거라서
Well, we knew that their skills are mostly gone, so yeah, we're just ready to open team fight.
완전 퍼레이드였죠 룰러 선수가. 본인 위주로 좀만 얘기 좀 돌고 왔어요.
Any more
한번
comments?
좀 살펴볼까요 여기?
일단 그냥 저는 눈앞에 있는
For me,
스킬이랑
I was trying to dodge all the skills, and also I was trying to land my auto attack on enemies.
네, 잘한 것 같진 않은데
Well, not a very super play on my side, but yeah, it was a decent team fight for GenG.
얻어냈던 것 같은데 오늘 뭐 사실 여쭤보고 싶은 게 굉장히 많은데 그 중에
We have a lot of questions for you,
좀 자주 들었겠지만
and one of them is the Samsung Galaxy skin.
좀 많이 듣고 있잖아요. 우리 특히 이런 기회에 얘기를 좀 잘 해놓으면
So what is your comments about that?
쪽 입장에서도 좋을 수 있을 것 같아요.
짭짤하죠.
Well, I'm gonna get some money.
귀한 모선이 그 분명 이 짭짤함을 만들어 줄 것이다.
Especially the recall animation, right?
일단은 좀 우리나라 그 문화 같은 거를 좀 이야기하면서
Well, we wanted to share the Korean culture,
분들께서 되게 이것저것 신경을 더 많이
and the
써주시고
riot really took a lot of care about the Korean culture.
나왔던 것 같아요.
So yeah, it ended up with beautiful skins.
이제 우리나라 문화를 적극적으로 반영하는 고유 명사를 그대로 쓰는 그런 장면들 좀 있었잖아요.
And we could check out a lot of Korean traditional features in the skin. Yeah, and I'm really satisfied. Maybe I can get some money with my skin.
두 번째 세트 좀 얘기해 볼까요? 두 번째 세트
Moving on to game 2.
좀 나온다고 그 얘기했었고 두 번째 세트는 정글에서 하루 선수가 좀
Well, Haru had a hard time in the early game.
탑 쪽에서 흔들리는 장면들이 바텀에서 지금 룰러 선수로 인해서
But you know, Ruler and Core JJ did really well in the bot lane. So what kind of shot call went back and forth?
몰랐어요?
Well, I actually didn't know that top laners or junglers were having hard time in the games because they were not very influential.
괜찮았다.
Well, so yeah, it was all okay.
분위기가 괜찮을 것이다.
일단 바텀이 제 생각으로는 유리했어 가지고.
Well, bot laners were in the lead even before the kill. So yeah, I wasn't really worried.
워낙에 첫 번째 장면 그 장면이 첫 번째 탑 쪽에서 문제가 생기자마자 바로 나와가지고.
Well, there was an accident in the top lane actually,
그런 상황이 생겼거든요.
but it's surprised that you guys didn't get affected by it a lot.
일단 저만 6렙이고 상대는 5렙이었고.
Well, I was the only one that hit level 6 at that moment, so yeah, we were ready to open team fight over there.
볼까요?
보시죠.
네. 요거.
So let's check out the clip.
용민이 먼저 들어갔어요.
네. 일단 첸 선수가 도발을 좀 잘못 쓴 것도 있고.
Well, the taunt was actually a mistake, so it was kind of easy for us to win the team fight.
다음 스킬의 움직임을 보면서 들어간 거군요.
네. 근데 뭐 첸이 도발을 잘 썼어도 죽었을 것 같네요.
But I'm sure that if he landed his taunt on us, we could have won the team fight.
킬 쪽으로 확실히 연결되면서 좋은 모습이 있었습니다만 이 이후는 막 스킬을 흘려내는 장면이 있었잖아요.
Later in the game, you know, you managed to escape from all the CCs playing Zaya.
기가 막힌 장면들이 나왔어요.
기가 막혔죠.
그때 막
It was a super play.
기가 막히다는 얘기 했어요?
그냥 나이스밖에 없었던 것
Well,
같아요.
we just all
그
said
장면이
nice.
나이스 끝났어요?
뭐 그렇죠.
Yeah, that's it.
이런데 나이스 끝났다고요?
Was nice. The
이거를
only comment from your teammates?
이거를
Well, you actually dodged
이렇게
4
했는데 이게 그냥 겨우 나이스
CCs and ultimates.
솔직히 이게 자야라서 가능한 것 같고.
Well, yeah, it was because Zaya is so capable of escaping from all the CCs.
투자를 엄청
Yeah.
많았거든요. 근데 여기서 한번 무너지게 되면서 패턴이 좀 약간 흔들리는 장면들이 있었습니다. 얼만큼
네.
단순히 살아난 것뿐만 아니라 경기의 분위기를 바꾸는데 굉장히 큰 일조를
At
했었고.
that moment, I think GenG was able to get the momentum back to your own side.
그래도 좀 생각이 들어요.
맞아요, 그런 것 같습니다.
기량이 점점 올라오고 있습니다.
Your performance is getting better and better.
네, 이제 좀 흔들렸어요.
Well, I was actually underperforming in the previous match against BBQ, but coaching staff told me that you are still a good player. So yeah, that kind of helped me a lot.
왜 말씀을 드렸냐면 기량이 점점 올라간다는 느낌에서는 자신감이잖아요. 지금 목소리 말투가
You look really confident, Ruler.
혹시나 되게 부담스러울까 봐 혼자 이렇게 1대1 인터뷰는 좀 부담스럽잖아요. 그래서 옆에 누구 앉혀드릴까요? 아니요, 혼자 할 건데요.
We actually asked Ruler if he wants additional player next to him during the interview, but Ruler actually said he's okay.
오바했어요.
I can see how confident you are.
그래서 약간 제가 오바했어요. 네, 약간 오바했어요. 근데 내용은 맞잖아요.
그런 느낌 하죠.
Well, I actually said it will be okay, but yeah, maybe I'm feeling a little bit confident nowadays.
드리고 좀 싶었어요. 안쪽에서 우리 경기 잠깐 중단됐을 때도 그렇고 지금도 약간 그런데.
So there was a pause during the game, and also
진줄 알았어요.
we can see like you are feeling a little bit hot in the booth.
덥네요.
지금도 많이 더워요?
네, 그때
Well, it is still hot here.
준비해봤어요.
So we prepared something for you, Ruler.
우리가 이제
You know, you're always finding yourself in the gaming booth, so
미니 선풍기를 한번
we prepared a portable mini fan for you.
건전지가 들어가 있어요.
너무 시원하네요. 너무 시원하네요.
This is
괜찮아 괜찮아.
so nice, and it's really cool, and it's really adorable. Thank you.
키면서 천천히 하셔도 상관없을 것 같아요.
네.
일단은 큐베 선수도 그렇고 지금 전반적으로 분위기들이 선수들이
So,
누가 한 명이 약간
including
그렇거든요.
큐베.
전화 좀 드릴게요. 그거만 이제 듣고 하고.
네.
선수 그렇고 전반적으로 팀 단위에서 구멍이 없는
Well,
느낌.
seems like all the players are doing their role perfectly.
이제 저희가 좀 잔실수가 되게 많았어요.
We used to have a lot of mistakes during the games.
그거를 좀 그래서 분위기가 좋진 않았는데.
So
오늘
we're a little bit depressed about that, but
실수도 줄이고
since we picked up the victory today, I think we can make a comeback from
from
now on.
느껴지는 느낌이거든요. 이제 분명히 승리가 더 쌓아 올리면서 다른 팀과 이게 층들이 점점 만들어지고 있어요.
So,
젠지 스포츠의 이 흐름에 대해서
GenG Esports is quite in the lead compared to other LCK teams.
팀원도 또 굉장히 잘하고 있는 것 같거든요. 요즘엔 최근 또 어떤 선수가 폼이 좀 좋아요?
So
솔직히
who's the player that is best performing in GenG?
뽑는다고 하는 건 아니고.
I mean, all the players are doing really well. I can really pick out one.
잘합니다.
Yeah, they're all good.
그 중에서도 용인이요? 저랑
Or maybe Core JJ, he's my support.
오늘도 굉장히 많은 팬들이 좀 응원을 오셨는데 특히나 아까 그 직원분이 놓치지 않고 계속해서
And you know,
뭐
the GenG
SNS 좀
staff have been
얘기하고
promoting their
있는데 굉장히 인상 깊은
social
그
media
선수가
at
만들어준
the
비디오 클립
arena. So
그것도 뭐
is there any comments?
그래요?
네.
그러니까 그거 해명 시간 드리려고 그랬지. 그럼 완전 억울했다는 얘기.
I heard there's a really funny video clip about you, Ruler.
그거만 딱 보고 오해하시는 분들을 위해서 말씀해 주세요. 그건 오해가 있다. 그런 얘기.
그 제가 스트리머 풍월량님
Well,
팬인데.
during my streams, I went to a YouTube channel,
네, 오해가 있다.
but I wasn't really aware that it was about some weird game. But I was really not really aware because
네네.
I didn't expect some kind of
그렇습니다. 이게 자기도 모르게
video clip to turn out during my stream, so I was feeling really embarrassed, and it was totally my mistake.
라는 의미에서 룰러 선수가 대신 희생해서 말씀을 전해드린 걸로 마무리를 짓도록 하겠습니다. 자, 이제 룰러 선수 이제 오늘도 승리를 따내게 되면서 이제 다음 경기가
The Ruler,
합니다.
your next opponent will be Afreeca Freecs,
굉장히 큰 자신감을 좀 드러냈었거든요.
and Afreeca Freecs seemed really confident.
형 좀 졌으면 좋겠다고 가더라고요.
Well, Keen told me that he wants me to lose today.
그래요?
I think that gave me the motivation for winning the series today.
이 더울 때, 특히나 힘 떨어질 때, 당 떨어질 때 정말 필요한 음식이 있는 거 아니겠습니까? 이미
And we have an additional
우리 많은
present
선수들이
for
사랑하는
GenG
음식이기도
players.
하고, 탑 쪽에서 특히 사랑하는 음식이라는
You
얘기를
know,
들려가지고
this is
저희가
one of
한번 같이
one of
나눠보려고
Cuba's favorite
준비해봤어요.
fruit.
선물이에요. 바나나입니다. 바나나.
It's a banana.
스크린에서도 이제 많이 등장하는 건데.
Well, we also love the recall
나는
animation
특히
from
좋은
Cuba's
거로 같이
skin.
이동 좀 준비를 해봤어요. 네.
싱싱하네요.
네.
Looks fresh.
왜 이렇게 늘었어요?
고수의 인터뷰.
Well, you look
그래서
so good at interview.
분위기 너무
I think I
좋으니까.
became a go-to of interview.
전해드릴게요. 일단 아프리카에 대해서 자신감이 분명히 있는 거잖아요.
있습니다.
So,
있어요?
네.
어떻습니까?
Are you confident about facing Afreeca Freecs?
뭘 보여줄 수 있을까요, 룰루는?
I'm pretty confident.
보다는 그냥 일단 바텀 라인전부터 이기고 들어가.
Well, I think we're gonna win in the bot laning phase.
네, 최근에 특히나 이건 어떻습니까? 원딜러들의 희망이자.
And you are the hope. You're the savior of marksmen, the AD carry. You're the hero of them.
수많은 원딜러분들이 사실상 젠지 e스포츠라기보다는
You know, all the AD carry fans are supporting for GenG and Ruler.
보여주고 계세요. 수많은 원딜러들 지금 지켜보시는 원딜러분들을 위해서.
So is there any last message for the AD carry fans?
원딜이 진짜 좋은 챔피언들이거든요.
Well, AD carries are still a good champion.
하지 마시고 원딜 많이
So,
좀 해주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
I want them to stick on the AD carries,
하세요.
Ash especially.
자, 이렇게 해서 룰러 선수와 좀 이야기를 나눠왔습니다. 오늘도 이 더운 와중에 멋진 경기를
So,
펼쳤고 그리고 이 더운
Ruler
와중에
picking up 2-0 victory against Junior Greenwings. They are on the second place.
오늘 함께하신 팬 여러분께
And lastly, any message for the fans out here?
덥고 늦은 시간까지 응원해 주셔서 정말
Thank you for
감사하고,
supporting us in this hot summer.
집 조심히 들어가시고
And I hope you to get home safe and have a nice meal back there. And thank you for all the support.
열심히 하길 테니까 더
We'll
많은
keep
응원과 관심 부탁드립니다.
practicing a lot, so we'll be looking forward for more love and support. Thank you.
생기는 이 아름다움까지 한번 지켜봤습니다. 직원분도 한번 챙겨줘야죠.
Any message for the GenG staff?
직원분이에요. 이벤트 중에 하고 있대요 지금. 정모.
저것도 많은 관심 부탁드릴게요.
Yeah. Please subscribe to our social media.
이렇게 해서 직원분까지 챙기는 룰러 선수 한번 만나봤습니다. 젠지 e스포츠 두 개의 세트를 통해서 2대0으로 완벽하게 승리를
The
따내면서
GenG Esports making a perfect score from today's series are still on the second place, and I'll throw it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you, Ji-sun, for the marvelous translation there. It's nice to see Ruler all alone up on the stage. He's the one shining light of the 80 carry role. And he says, I think Ash deserves a little bit more attention too. We'll see if we see more Ash in the future.
Also needs to pay more attention to which websites he goes to, apparently on stream. We're going to stay 12 and over here as we look at the score lines here and the stat lines for the teams. GenG have only lost one. So yeah, only one game behind Griffin. It's a very interesting result. They play Griffin as their final match in the first round robin as well. That will be very cool to see. That's later though. This week we have 2 match days at OGN. Humble Life Esports vs King Zone could be very competitive. SKT vs BBQ probably not. And we close up on Sunday at the Nexon Arena.
Yeah, GenG versus Afreeca. Going to be really nice to watch that one here, as well as KT versus MVP. And you know, KT, you never know. Maybe MVP comes in after their pretty poor performance that we saw earlier today and comes in and defeats KT. Literally anything can happen against that team.
With KT Rolster in their final match, they'll be prepping for Rift Rivals, I'm sure. That's the final match we'll have here in Korea before Rift Rivals break, which is about a week and a half there as we go over to China to have a lot of action going on there. Let's see how things go, because as you say, wouldn't it be the most KT to beat Griffin, then lose to MVP?
Lose to MVP, and then head over to China and just smash face, win every single game against every other region.
Could be.
That would make a lot of sense, and then we'd just be left scratching our heads like, how do they lose to MVP in the end, right before then? Nobody knows.
It would not be the first time that I've been left
scratching my head.
They need to go
down before they go up on the roller coaster, I guess. So this is just their momentum before they go up again.
Well, again, only 4 best-of-3s left this week. It was a fun couple of matches today. Yeah. 2-2-0s, though, so it wasn't the hyper-competitive series you might have expected. Jin Air versus BBQ seems to be the one that will decide who goes in with that 0-9 stat line no one wants to get.
Yeah, nobody really wants to see that one, but we'll wait and see. Maybe BBQ can even beat SKT tomorrow. That's also a possibility, so they could maybe dodge the 0-9 themselves. But that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you once again for watching here at Spo TV. We'll see you next time. Good night.
I see you always wanna go somewhere to waste your golden soul. I see the smile you never show. Oh no.
It's been many days, many ways misled, knowing that I'm tiptoeing on both sides of the fence, trying to figure it out, but I'm living in doubt. So scared one day that your grace might run out, cause I'm so far from perfect, so close to worthless, feeling no good for worship, trying to understand this life that you purchased. Am I just a man destined for death, or do I deserve it? You died for my sins and that's the verdict. You carried out God's true will and purpose with urgency for the sake of love, forgiveness and eternity. Your grace is enough. I got so many questions, so many things to change. I'm calling out, but sometimes you're far away. I get discouraged and seem to always fall flat, but that's when you pick me up and bring me back.